Hi Mike, thank you very much for taking part in this. Could you give me a synopsis of your experience to date?
Over 18 years working in the NHS, involved in a variety of sports, particularly rugby. I have qualifications in postgrad sports medicine, previous work in fitness industry, doing S&C fitness instructor work.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Let's get straight into it. So, have you ever tried barefoot shoes? And what is your opinion on barefoot versus footwear?
I've not particularly tried barefoot personally. I don't have the best lower limb for that kind of action. My opinion on barefoot running or minimalistic footwear versus normal is that basically, if you are going to adopt that stance, you need to spend an awful lot of time developing and re-educating your lower limb to fulfill that action.
Cool. And would you say it's realistic in this modern day that you could go barefoot?
If you have, from a young age, you are encouraging that sort of pattern of movement, or if you are able to dedicate a significant lump of time to retrain, re-educate your lower limb.
Okay. What's the fundamental aim of footwear?
Footwear is generally to protect feet. Very simplistically,
yeah.
We have designed footwear to stop our feet getting cut and to increase our endurance of our movement.
And has that changed the way we walk from walking with footwear as opposed to walking barefoot?
Yes. Barefoot is generally more of a controlled fall, so you're falling into your front of your foot all the time, whereas we've adopted a more heel-toe stance, which creates a bit more impact for the lower limb.
Brilliant, thank you. What do you see as the main problems linked to people's choice of footwear?
Most people select footwear based on fashion or on the aesthetic appeal of it, how it looks, how it feels, and the designer stripe or whatever is on the side of it.
Okay. Would you recommend people to wear flip-flops?
There's no reason not to wear them if you're within a normal tolerance, and I certainly wouldn't recommend people wearing flip-flops for excessive walking, so I wouldn't expect somebody to be walking up the top of Snowdon in a pair of flip-flops. But
for example, flip-flops are mainly used for slippers, believe it or not, walking to the beach and walking to the pool.
There are means of getting from A to B on a short distance to take minimal effort to take someone on and off.
Okay. When I talk about foot support now, which are the main areas of foot support that you feel are necessary to offer comfort as well as health and well-being to the body?
Generally some kind of heel cup, heel support, and general consensus is towards the medial arch.
Okay, that's the
inside of it.
Yeah, the inside. What about metatarsal arch? Is there any medical evidence to support that?
There's some things that put metatarsal support in there. Ultimately, it comes down to, in my opinion, the nature of your foot in the first place. Everybody's different. We all look different. We all different sizes, and we all have different underlying biomechanical loads. So the requirement for stringent support in footwear for one person isn't always required in the next person.
So to be able to get something to fit to somebody's foot, it would have to adapt and mold, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Or made to measure.
Yeah, it's all made to measure. That's the. Yeah. What are the effects on the body from poor foot support?
Potentially multiple. So you've got immediate effects within the forefoot itself, ranging from frictions and blisters to underlying sort of foot issues. You can get what's called metatarsalgia, which is where you get pins and needles in the forefoot. You get plantar fascia, which is sort of that overload of the arch itself, and you get tenderness in that area. You get Achilles problems. You can also get knee, hip, lower back.
Yeah, perfect.
They're all academically associated with poor gait. And
plantar fasciitis, which I said incorrectly there, has become really more prominent now. I've noticed it. I don't know whether it's my age, but everybody seems to have it at the moment.
I think it's in association with, like many things, we've got an increasingly ageing population. And we've got a population that is becoming less and less active and bigger and bigger. So plantar fascia is associated with tightness down from the back of the legs, often associated with lower back issues, We are a sedentary lifestyle, so increasing back issues from that. Then also if you've got increasing load going through the forefoot and we're not active enough to kind of sort of protect ourselves, I suspect it's one of those many diseases, many problems that you could associate as a disease of the 21st century.
Okay, thank you very much. In your opinion, which is the best beach footwear for foot support and well-being?
Probably a pair of trainers.
I thought you were going to say that. Okay. What advice would you give to anyone who is making beach footwear to be comfortable?
If you're looking for comfort or you're looking for support?
Both.
Right. Because comfort and support could potentially be two different things.
What, could you explain that?
So for instance, a lot of people would tell you that if they slept in a big feathery pillow, they would say that's comfortable, but there's no support.
Okay.
Long term, that lack of support is likely to cause problems, particularly if they're not very athletically fit and robust. But in the short term, it might feel fantastic because they've been covered in this nice, squishy, soft, sort of that sort of psychological wrapping up and sort of sensation.
Yeah.
So the concept of comfort versus the concept of support to me is two very different entities.
Okay, well, we'll discuss about that later as well. I think we've touched on this before, but I really want to ask this question. Are all feet the same?
Nope. Are all faces the same?
No, exactly true. So they're all as unique as our faces, as our body. So there's no one size fits all?
No.
Perfect. Which of the following do you wear and why? Flip-flops, sliders, sandals?
More sandals.
Sandals. What type?
Sports ones. So
right,
it tends to be the more supported insole, the more rugged sort of insole, by virtue of the fact that I've got issues with my lower limb.
Yeah.
So perfect. I can't tolerate your flip-flop slidery type things.
The flat, without any contours or support, yeah.
I often get Achilles pain.
Right, okay.
Forefoot pain.
I'm the same, you're my physio, so you know my lower limbs and that. Which would you choose to wear for comfort, Havaianas or Birkenstock, and why?
Probably neither.
Neither, right, okay. Why?
I've just never felt comfortable in either of them.
Right, okay.
But I was probably orientated towards more of a Birkenstock type sole, shall we say. But as opposed to the Havaianas, because the Havaian, to be honest with you, it's just a hard-wearing piece of tyre. It's flat.
Yeah.
Birkenstock there's tread, there's a shape, there's something that could be moulded towards or fulfill some people's needs, but it just doesn't work for me.
No, it doesn't for me either. The thermally doesn't adapt. Okay, perfect. If you offer foot support on the sole of your shoe, does it need to be in an enclosed shoe for it to be of real benefit?
No.
No?
Not in my opinion, no.
Right. So, would the foot support still be effective if the sole touched the foot by thin straps, i.e. like a flip-flop?
If it was firm enough and configured enough, i.e. the foot didn't move with it in or over that sole.
Yeah.
So don't see why not.
Within our research around flip-flops, we found that if flip-flops fit to the foot better, most flip-flops come in small, medium, large and extra large, so there's a huge variety.
Range, yeah.
So when I researched so far, if we're going to do ours to half sizes, so they're going to fit perfectly, would that increase the sole state aligning to your foot better?
That and whatever you're using to hold it over the foot.
Yeah.
So there would be whatever system you are using to effectively keep that sole there would have to be effective as well. So it's not a case of just getting the size right in relation to the foot. It's then making sure that there's minimal sort of translation forward, sideways in relation to the foot, which is what you get from a normal shoe because you've got the wrap, as well as the protection of over the foot or in the toe area if you're sort of building site and such like.
So if you're going to attach a sole to the base of someone's foot in the simplest way,
I would go over the foot.
Where would you go over the foot?
Probably over the midfoot area.
Sort of.
It's similar to a slider, sort of.
Right. Okay.
and then possibly something around the back of the heel to stop the heel sort of moving.
But the flip-flop sort of does that because it comes to your toe, it stops it going from forward and back, side to side.
It means your forefoot generally is overactive because it's having
clawing.
grip. Yeah.
So would metatarsal support help with that?
Wouldn't necessarily. I don't think it would limit the grip because you'd still be gripping over the front, and it's that overactivity for some people in flip-flops can cause some problems in terms of shin pain, forefoot pain because they've got that grip all the time. So
could that be because the flip-flop doesn't fit properly? If it was tighter and they didn't fit?
They would need a grip hold or something, yes.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, Mike.
It's
a pleasure.
It's easy as that.